And the question is, we put it out there, the numbers speak for themselves, seemingly. The Patriots offense is worse now with Matt Patricia compared to what it was last year with Josh McDaniels. But how many wins, Curran, how many wins are on the table? If Josh McDaniels were here, how many wins would the Patriots have?
Patriots probably would have been able to take care of business because the defense carried the day against the Miami Dolphins. I think they would have scored more than 13 points, which is what the Dolphins got offensively. So you win that game. You wouldn't have been a no-show against the Chicago Bears. Probably wouldn't have gotten them hurt either. So you win the Bears game. And I bet they would have extracted a win against the Packers. Also, it's worth remembering, too, the offensive philosophy and design really resulted in Mac Jones' injury in a lot of ways because the ineptitude of the offensive line, I don't think that Josh McDaniels would have stood for it. So I don't even think that Mac Jones even gets hurt. So to me, it's a 3-win bottom line situation.
Castle, tell the audience how outrageous and ridiculous.
Well, what's outrageous is that you keep blaming Matt Patricia for Mac Jones' injury. We play a violent sport. We step out on the field, and at the end of a game, when you're trying in desperation, still trying to move the ball down the field. Why are they in that situation? For a multitude of reasons. One, because Mac Jones threw an interception on his own accord. One, because Devontae Parker didn't get the signal in the red zone. Another one was Nelson Aguilar fumbled as he's getting into the red zone. That, again, they're in desperation mode, and that's what most teams do. But for you to continue to blame Matt Patricia for Mac Jones' injury.
We went way into the weeds on it.
I know, but I mean, I'm kind of tired of listening to people say, oh, well, it's Matt Patricia's fault. That's just part of the game.
You just said you got him. You got him
hurt.
The overall picture is what's the difference?
Okay, Josh McDaniels. Yes, I think that they would have probably been a lot more. I mean, they would have been further along than what they are this year, because deservedly so. He had experience with Mac Jones. He understands his strengths, his weaknesses, all those things, and he's been a play caller in this league for this organization for 15 years or something like that. But in terms of total results right now with the team itself, you look at who they've beat. They beat the Steelers, the Lions, the Browns, the Jets twice, Colts, Cardinals, all bad teams. Who have they lost to? Miami, Ravens, Green Bay, Bears. They should have possibly won. Vikings, Bills. But this is the same thing.
They couldn't pop up 14 points against Miami in the opener?
Last year, who did they beat?
They couldn't pop up 14 points in the opener.
The Texans, Chargers, Panthers, Browns.
They've struggled against Miami even with Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, 14 points. The defense did its job. They struggled against Miami because they got shredded defensively. They put out a very good performance in the opener defensively against Miami Dolphins.
Right.
So the bottom line is which games were they won? Miami, Chicago,
here's the bottom line.
Packers.
This is why I think that's crazy, because I just wrote down all the. So now we're at 11-3. If Josh McDaniels was here, we're 11-3, and you're tied with Buffalo.
Mike,
for the number one.
Mac Jones has 7 touchdown passes and 8 picks.
I know what the numbers are.
20. You apparently don't.
I do know the numbers. No, I know the numbers. This is what you're missing. I got the numbers. I got the
Believe me, there's no missing going on.
I sat there, I listened to you, and I think it's crazy. They are not a top seed in the AFC when Josh McDaniels is here. And that's what you said. I listened to you.
I didn't say they were a top seed.
I did not jump. Well, 11-3 is the top. That's what Buffalo.
So
Buffalo has 11 wins.
What would their record be?
Their record would be, hey, wait for it, 8-6.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what. Would their offense be better, Mike?
It would look better. The
operation
be better. The operation would look better,
but it wouldn't be better.
The result would not change.
Why?
No, because they're not going to beat the Bears with Josh McDaniels here. They're not going to beat Miami with Josh Mdaniels. I'm not going to give him that.
Why not?
This is why.
He can't get 14 points against Miami.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this.
Why not?
So, well, if you let me answer.
But you're going to run around the block.
I'm not going to run around the block. I'm right here. I'm right here in the neighborhood, right on my front porch.
Here comes the stall.
I'm right on my front porch.
Don't run 4 corners.
If you would just be quiet for a second, I can tell you. Last year, the Patriots scored 27 points a game. This year, they're averaging 22, right? So 27 last year.
That's not offense so much.
So 26, that is, listen, last year.
Encompassed in the 22 points a game is special teams and defense. I'm just got to proofread you because sometimes you're misleading.
Last year, if you look it up, the numbers say they were a top 10 offense. I'm giving Josh McDaniels credit. This is part of the reason he got the job. This is part of the reason Mac Jones loved him so much. They had a good offense if you look at it on paper.
Where's the Miami game?
If you look at it on paper. In 3 games last year, Tom, they scored 150 points. 3 games last year. In the other 14 games, they averaged 22 points a game.
Where's the Miami game I asked about?
What I'm saying to you, Tom, is Last year, in 14 games, the Patriots scored 22 points a game. This year, they're 21.
Why couldn't they
Josh
score
McDaniels
14 against Miami
would
in the
make
opener?
them 1 point better. I'll give them 1 point better, but not 3 wins. 3 wins is
Why
crazy.
couldn't they score 14? Again, I knew you'd run around the block and not
I'm not
answer the
running. I'm
question.
sitting here on the
Why
porch.
couldn't they beat the Miami Dolphins in the opener if Josh was here? It was a 10-7 team last year.
Because
it's a
they've
team that scored
struggled.
48 touchdowns last year, and they took a massive step back
they lost
with
to
their
Miami
decisions
in the opener last
on the
year.
coaching
Here's
staff.
what I remember. This
They
is what I
are
know.
kneecapped
This is
by
what
their
I know.
decisions.
This is what I know. I know Josh McDaniels was here for what, 18 years? He was here for a long time. He was here the last couple of years when they struggled against Miami. So I know you want to put him up for sainthood. They
All I
struggled
wanna say
against
is
Miami
they
with
averaged-
Josh McDaniels here.
They averaged 22 points by your own data release over there.
Right.
They couldn't have gotten to 22 against Miami?
They're averaging 21 this year. They couldn't get to 21 against Miami this year.
Again.
So it's a point.
That's with defense and special
It's a
teams
1 point
encompassed.
difference.